These brooders are amazing. I couldn't be happier with this company.
We absolutely love these cages.
One at a time, okay, guys?
Homesteading is a lifestyle choice. Whether you have a large or small space, you can move towards self-sufficiency. Start with what you need and add more as you can. Start small and grow in confidence. Start with the basics and increase your knowledge. At Bryant's Roost, we believe in sustainability, education, and forward momentum. Follow us on our journey for tips, hacks, and insights. We can grow together.
Good morning, everyone. Oops, I just messed up. Sorry about that. Good morning, everyone. Glad you all could join us. Today is Sunday, September 8th, and I am finally back in Florida. For those of you who didn't know, I took a working vacation up in Michigan, which is a pretty good time. I mean, we got a lot done and made Mama happy, so it was nice. We also went live up there from West Michigan Quail, and that was a really good live stream. And I'm going to show a brief photos and whatnot of that visit. I just want to kind of go over what we did on the last live stream, because I know there wasn't a whole lot of people that were in that live stream, and some of you may have missed it. So we're going to go over some of that stuff and talk about some new stuff that's going on down here. But first off, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. HP Murray from Gopher Ridge Quail. He donates quite a few things to the channel to give away to you guys for the live streams. Today, we're actually going to be giving away a 30 count of mixed hatching eggs. We're also going to give away a 50 count of the jumbo cell cartons, like you see. Well, not the paper one, the plastic ones, like they're in the middle of that photo there. Somebody's going to get that. And then we're also going to give away another $50 Hatching Time gift certificate. So let's see, announcements that are going on. I don't think there's really a whole lot of new announcements. Like I said, I just got back in town a couple days ago. When was it? Thursday. I flew in here. So yeah, a couple days ago. It was a crazy flight. We got off on time out of Grand Rapids, landed in Punta Gorda, Florida. For those of you who know that airport, they do not have the tunnels, I guess, that you walk through, you know, to get to the airplane. You've got to actually exit the airplane, come down some ramp, and then go. But I guess Punta Gorda has a policy that if there's lightning anywhere within 5 miles of the airport, for less than 10 minutes, that they put a hold on loading and unloading. So we sat on the airplane for almost 2 hours waiting to get off the flight. We could have flown back to Michigan and been unboarded up there. So it was crazy. But like I say, the vacation up in Michigan was great. It was a working vacation. We got a lot of work done. My sister was a huge help. My brothers helped out. My sister's husband, Maurice Strobel, he helped out a bit. So it was a good time, and we got a lot done. And it was nice seeing family again after, so many years of not seeing anybody. Okay, that's about it for, what's happened here in the past week. I do want to go over real quick some of the stuff that we announced on last week's live stream. We did announce the September Coturnix Kids winner, and that went to Jada Benef, and she did a really nice job with her write-up. She was actually, oops, I kicked the camera. It wasn't good. She did a really nice write-up and sent in some pictures. So I want to give a shout out to Jada again. Thanks, Jada, for that. Your stuff should be on its way anytime this upcoming week. So keep an eye out for that. Let's see. I had something crazy happen yesterday, guys. One of our members over at Coturnix Corner, Tony D'Angelo, he donated a bunch of his equipment for us to, give away, whatever we do. So me and my wife took a ride out to Tony's house and loaded up my pickup truck, which is just a little S10, Chevy S10, and it was packed. It looked like a scene from the Beverly Hillbillies. Anyhow, we got to driving home, and we didn't get a couple miles down the road, and I looked in my mirror, and everything had fallen out. I had tarped the load, and I guess the wind got up under the tarp, and it acted like a parachute, lifted it up off my truck, and scattered it all across the highway. We had cages everywhere. There was like three-tier hatching time cages, an incubator, a plucker, just all kinds of stuff, and tons of extra parts. And it was terrible. I mean, we had to stop on the side of the road, drag all that stuff out of the road, get it strapped back down in the truck. And I got it home, and it was quite a mess. But what I did was I went through and I cleaned everything up, and we actually got it looking pretty good considering what it had gone through. And what we did originally, I was going to try to set up some of these hatching time cages in my aviary for outside use, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to let somebody in the group come out and take this, because it's going to be a project for them. But we had a really nice couple come out, and their kids are 4-H members, and they wanted the cage to set up so their kids could start raising quail. They had just started showing Coturnix in 4-H. So I thought, this is a good opportunity to kind of share the wealth with everybody. And so, Tony, I really appreciate you donating that. And I'm sorry for what you had to go through as far as you're dealing with a local code enforcement officer. That's really a shame, but Tony was generous enough to donate that stuff for the to the group, and I thought we would go ahead and donate it to someone that could make use out of it. But it was crazy. Like I said, guys, I wish I'd have got a picture. I wasn't thinking. I wish I'd have got a picture of it laying across the highway, because it was scattered, and it was actually tied to the back of my truck. I just didn't tie it down good enough, so I was actually kind of dragging it down the road for a little bit. And then I looked in my mirror and I saw that mess, and I'm like, oh my Lord. But anyhow, that's that. And I do have to say, hatching time cages are pretty tough, because for what we put it through, going down the road 45 miles an hour, flying out of a truck and, bouncing down the road. Some of the stuff got ran over. Some of the stuff got totally destroyed. But at least I was able to salvage enough of the cages, to make a pretty decent setup to give away. So let's see, what else? I briefly want to go over what we did last week in the live stream up in Michigan. We were at West Michigan Quail with Maury Straubel, and Maury did a really good job on the live stream. A lot of people, when they come on the live stream as guests, get a little bit nervous. Maury he fit right in. He had no problem there. So I want to show you guys his setup real quick again, and give you guys some ideas what you could do with a backyard setup, because Maury's got a really sweet setup. The picture here, the center is his quail shed, he calls it. It's really, really nice. I mean, you could almost live in there. He's got it decked out like you wouldn't believe, as far as fans and heaters and ceiling fans and whatnot. It's a really nice setup. But on the right there, you can see a little bit of wood and lattice. That's he's got a broiler pen there where he's growing out a bunch of meat bird chickens. And then on the left, there's a little cage there where he's got his egg laying chickens. This is a shot from inside the door showing his setup with his hatching time cages. He's got 3 hatching time cages, and then on the far right, you can't see it because it's behind the door. He actually built one of the Coturnix corner cages, the 3-tier cages, and I think he's using that as a grow out. So he's got a really nice setup, guys. He's got, if you look on top of the center cage, he's got a air circulation. What it does, it draws in air from outside, so it's bringing fresh air in, and then he's got exhaust fans in the window, which is sucking the air out. And it's really nice. There was hardly any smell when you walked in the shop or in his room there. And like I say, he's just got a really nice setup. There's a pic on the right there of his cage that he built from the channel. This is his ventilation system. The one on the left is, like I say, drawing in fresh air from outside. And then on the right, that's his heater that he runs during the winter. And he said it keeps it pretty warm in there. I think he said 60 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys want any more in-depth information on Maury's setup, go to last week's live stream and watch it. He did, a really good job explaining what he's got going and whatnot. There's some of his birds. And he also talks a lot, too, about how he's making money with his quail. And so the quail are basically supporting their own habits. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff. This is his, on the left there is a dorm refrigerator that he bought. And as he collects eggs, he packages them up in the egg cartons, labels the cartons, and then sticks them inside his refrigerator and gets them ready to sell. But like I say, guys, yeah, watch that live stream again. It's last week's live stream. It's really interesting. I mean, and I know probably most of you that watch this channel are small scale quail breeders, whether it's for meat and eggs or for, just as a hobby. Maury's setup is exactly that. So he can give you some really good ideas on, how to get your stuff set up, what type of building you might want to build, the ventilation system and that and whatnot. And, how you can make a little bit of money with your quail to, to help pay for your hobby. Okay, what else do we got going on here? I don't think there's a whole lot more going on. I do want to let you guys know what I've got going on here. Excuse me. When I drink coffee in the morning, guys, I get like a phlegm in my throat. I don't know why. It must be from the coffee, but it also. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Yeah, it's the coffee and the phlegm. We're thinking about, and I want to get your guys' input on this. We're thinking about possibly doing the Tuesday evening live streams again. My work here kind of slowed down, so I do have the time now where I could do it in the evening. So let me know what you guys think. If you'd like to see the Tuesday evening live streams come back, maybe that's better. Maybe we can do both. Maybe we can do a Sunday morning musings and also do the Tuesday live streams. But anyhow, what I was saying that I've got going, hold on a minute, is after seeing Maury set up in Michigan, it really got me motivated to get my stuff going again. Darn it. That's terrible. So what I did was I've got a few cage setups outside that I'm going to be working on. I'm also getting my aviary cleaned back up. I'm going to go ahead and set up some outdoor cages and also an aviary my aviary that I can use as a grow out pen. But I talked to HP Murray from Gopher Ridge, and he is going to be sending me some eggs this week, which I really appreciate, HP. Thank you very much. And I am going to start working on cleaning up the basic lines. I was actually doing that back when I got out of the quail. I was trying to clean up the farrows But I'm just going to clean up the base colors like the Italians, EB, which is extended brown, your Tibetans and your Rosettas, Pharaohs, and I'm also going to be keeping a clean line of Egyptians. It seems that if you're active at all in any of the Facebook groups, there's a lot of people right now talking about being able to find clean lines. A lot of breeders have gone the way of breeding, all these fancy colors and mutations and whatnot. And it's getting harder and harder to find clean base lines. So that's what we're going to start working on. We've got a few people that are interested in it. And oh, I wish I could get this out of my throat, guys. It's a little bit of phlegm back there. It just won't come up. All right. I guess I'm going to not drink coffee before the morning live streams anymore. Okay. So yes, we are getting back into quail. And I need the content anyhow for the channel. So having quail, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to step back because I'm not really in a position to be raising quail commercially. So I'm going to step back, and it's going to be basically a hobbyist setup where I will be selling, eating eggs and meat birds and whatnot and chicks. That's basically just to pay for the feed and the materials and whatnot to keep the guys going. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump over into the chat room and see what you guys got to say this morning. If I can keep from hacking up this morning. Let's see. Hola, Soy Miguel's in the house. Glad you could join us. Cam's in the house says, good morning from Florida with a beautiful beginning Sunday. Just got done running the pup with the golf cart. He's so happy. Yeah, I'll bet you he is. I do want to say, guys, that while I was up in Michigan, I brought 2 poodles from this last litter that are my dog had, Cookie, and my sister got one of them, and a friend of hers took the other one. So we've got rid of 2 dogs. I still have 2 left that I've got to get rid of, and I'm going to start running some local ads around here. But if you know anybody that's interested in a purebred solid black male poodle, I have a couple puppies available. Tater Farm says, good morning all. Gorgeous start to this Sunday here in Central Georgia. Tater Farm says, looking forward to another informative show this AM. Enjoys Terry's morning musing so much. Appreciate that, Tater Farm. Oh, another thing, guys, I wanted to mention real quick. We did a lot of giveaways last week. So if you were, I had some people contact me with their shipping information and some people that didn't. So if you're curious to see if you may have won, go back and watch that live stream. We announced all the winners towards the end of the live stream, so you don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't want to. But what I'm not doing is chasing down winners. It gets too hard to go. I mean, it's easy to find them, but to go back, find them on Facebook or the other CoturnixCorner.com website, and then email them and wait for tracking information. I'm just not doing that anymore. So if you are interested to see if you won, check that live stream out, and you can find out there. Child of God's in the house says, good morning from Indiana. Glad you could join us. Gina Klatz in the house says, good morning. Glad you could join us, Gina. Cam says, good morning. Dragon Girl says, good morning, everyone. Anthony's in the house says, morning all. This is the Anthony that donated the Hatching Time cages. So again, thank you, Tony. Really appreciate it. Fat Country's in the house says, happy Sunday, fun day, everyone. Absolutely. David DeBarge says, good morning from West Plains, Missouri. But anyhow, what I was saying, guys, about the shipments, the winners from last week, that stuff will be going out this week due to me being out of town. Obviously, I couldn't get it out right away. So this week, all those prizes and whatnot will be sent out. Mark says, good morning from New Hampshire. Sundial Fragrance is in the house, says, good morning. Tater Farm says, good morning, Terry. You look and sound terrific. Thank you, Tater Farm. Appreciate that. We are using the good camera this week and the microphone. Morning Straubel's in the house. Says, good morning, everyone. Glad you could join us, Maury. Hope you're enjoying your weekend up there in the woods. Cam says, yikes. I think he's talking about when everything fell out of my truck. Nathan's in the house. Says, good morning. Jody Porter says, yay, I finally caught a live stream. Hi, everyone from Western Australia. Cool. I love to get the people overseas in the lives. That's great. Twisted Garrett's Farm says, morning, everyone. Nona Pepper says, good morning. Anthony said, I'm so sorry. Well, it wasn't your fault, Anthony. It was my way, I guess the way I tied it down, and I probably should not have put the tarp on it. That seemed like that was the biggest deal, because like I say, it acted like a parachute. Sundial Fragrance Review says, I'm sorry to hear that. Tater Farm said, so glad the cages will be put to such good use. Thank you for your generosity, Tony and family. Yeah, absolutely. I feel for Tony because, he had a code enforcement officer that thought that badge made him holier than thou. And I mean, his operation was basically like Maury Straubel's. It was just a small building out back. And yeah, the guy just wanted to exercise some authority, and it wasn't even like the guy was out there to inspect Tony's stuff. He was out there on another call and just happened to notice it. So, well. Anthony said, just sent you pics of them loaded up. Yeah, I actually had the pics that were loaded on my camera because I took them. Actually, I took them when I got home after the mess, but yeah, they were taken care of and they went to a good home. So that's all I wanted to know. Robert says, good morning. Glad you could join us, Robert. David DeBar says, question, Terry, I just built your incubator and was wondering if you could please explain more on the vent holes and how to use them. Okay, David, I think you said you were in Missouri. Depending on your humidity out there, that's basically all I use the vent holes for, is adjusting humidity. On mine, I keep all 4 vent holes open if you have the larger box, even on the smaller box, because we have such a high humidity down here. I can get away with keeping it open. If you get to where your humidity is climbing too high, go ahead and close off one of them on the side, and your fans and the heat from your lights will actually dry that air out a little bit. But basically just play with the ventilation system and see where you can get your humidity tweaked. And it's going to change all the time because, humidity changes all the time. So Jody says, I have major quail shed envy. Yeah, Maury had a really nice quail shed. I mean, he took his time and he built it right. It looks really good. Corbellian said, this is the goals. Andy Rabbit's in the house, says, good morning. Glad you could join us, Andy. Mark says, question, what fruits and veggies can I feed my Coturnix? Basically, it's not what you can feed them, it's what you can't. You basically, you don't want to give them like avocado. Some people say not tomatoes because they're in the nightshade family, but it's actually only the vines or the leaves and the vines itself that are poisonous to them. But I mean, I gave mine cucumbers, watermelon. Every once in a while, if we had like leftover corn from dinner, I'd throw that out there for them. But like I say, most vegetables and stuff, they love squash and stuff too, like that pumpkin. So yeah, here we go. Cobrilian says, my quail love cucumbers. Yeah, they do. And the nice thing about cucumbers is it hydrates them very well. Same with the watermelon. Tater Farm says, appreciate all the information he shared on the tour. Very worth watching back. Yeah, he did a really good job. And I love his setup up there. So David Bullock's in the house. Says, morning, everyone from North Carolina. HP Murray says, good morning, all. Guess what? It's a rainy day in Georgia again. Imagine that. HP is our sponsor for the channel, and he's the one doing the giveaways today. So we really appreciate that, HP. Corbellion says, I'll have to go watch that. I missed it last week. Cam says, romaine, watermelon, cukes are faves. I planted longevity, spinach, and katuk for them. Haven't tried it out. Okay, HP says, yep, on Tuesday. I think a lot of people are going to like the Tuesday live streams because they like the evening and, you know, people get out of work and they have time to eat dinner and whatnot and still make the live stream. I know in the morning, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get here, but, you know, maybe we can do both. We'll just see how it goes. Carbolin says, I wouldn't mind it, but only if it works for you. I enjoy all the info these have. I'm thinking about doing the Tuesday evening live streams, mainly for bringing on guests and stuff like that. And then the Sunday morning, you know, we can just hang out here and BS. Sundown Fragrance says, be great to have them back. Tuesday live. Cool. David Barr says, yes, Tuesday evening would be great. Fat Country says, welcome back, Mr. Terry. Good to be back. Good to be back home, that's for sure. And not that I mind being gone. You know, I mean, I love being up in Michigan, visiting family and whatnot, and getting a bunch of work done. But I've got a ton of work here that I have to do. I've got work on my truck. I got to finish painting the backside of the house. I've got bees to inspect, cages to build, aviary to get cleaned up. So yeah. Andy Rabbit says, woohoo, you're getting back into quail. Absolutely. Cam says, awesome to hear. Brittany's in the house, says morning. I believe Brittany was one of our winners last week. Maury actually purchased one of the DIY incubator kits to give away, and I believe it was Brittany that he selected. That will be going out this week, Brittany. Like I said, I just got home, so it's going to take me a few to get everything rolling again in my shop. David Barr says, just got 60 eggs from HP and 64 from my shower yesterday for my first run in the DIY Terry Baiter. Cool. Good luck with the hatch. David Bullock says, Allie was calling the Clean Lines Heritage on her stream with Dana Manchester. I did see that, and yes, you're absolutely right. And it's true. I mean, you go out and try to find, like, clean, and by clean, we just mean the baselines that have no other mutations on them or no other genes on them. It's really tricky. I mean, it seems like, and even though it may look like the line that you're after, you go and breed it, and all of a sudden something recessive pops out, and you know you've got a different color. So we're going to try to clean all that up and make a few lines in the U.S. that are totally clean. That way, especially when newbies come in, beginners get started, they don't get this big surprise when they hatch out eggs. You know, if they hatch out, they're expecting, you know, Italians or Manchurians. That's what they get. You know, they're not getting a mix of stuff. So, Child of God says, question: how do you remove poo balls from birds' feet without hurting the feet? I keep trying aviary clean and monitor the birds, but still does happen. Started soaking the feet, really caused the bird to bleed. That's exactly what I was going to say. Soak them in Epsom salt bath, 20 minutes until it softens up the manure. Then you can kind of slowly peel it off. If it's getting to where they're bleeding, that could be an issue. It could actually lead into a bumblefoot if it gets infected. Yeah, the only thing that I've ever done, I guess the biggest thing is to keep them from getting manure buildup on their feet. So if they're in an environment where they're walking through manure, or the cage is a little bit dirty in one corner, you know, and they're standing in the manure, if you can eliminate that, that will definitely help keep their feet clean. But basically, the only way I've ever done it was soak their feet like an Epsom salt bath, and then and make sure it's warm water too. That helps to break it up pretty good, and then just kind of slowly break it up off the feet. Andy Rabbit says, nice there. I remember when everyone was talking about breeding true. Now it's next to impossible to find any. Exactly. And that's what the whole point behind this is to, clean it up a little bit and make those clean base colors available. Marcy's question, do people separate the different styles of Coturnix in different coops? A lot of people do. A lot of people will separate, their colors and, try to keep that color basically clean. A lot of other people just, have their birds mixed and they don't care what they're producing. So it's all going to depend on what you want. Pergolian says, why must you tempt me with a poodle, Terry? Because I need to get rid of them. I've got 6 dogs in my house now. Roxanne says, good morning. Any tips where to find clean lines of any color in Canada? The only person I could point you to, and I don't really know exactly what he's got, would be, oh, Lord. Why is his name? Perry Schofield. I'm not sure exactly where he's at. Ontario, I want to say, maybe. But Perry Schofield does ship. He is on Facebook, and I believe he's got a website. Check it out. I know for a while there he was trying to keep some clean lines. So check with him. Tater Farm says, welcome back to Raising Quail, Terry. Hoping that an outdoor setup solves your respiratory issues with the dander. It already has. By me totally cleaning out my shop, we have no issues now, going in the shop. No problems with breathing and whatnot. So, and I'm sure outdoors isn't going to be an issue. I mean, I went up to Michigan last week and was at Maury's setup, and I was in and out of his quail shed and never had a problem with it. So, as long as you've got the circulation, fresh air coming in, I don't think that it's really an issue, at least not for me. Crazy Critters Farm says, good morning. Excited I finally got to catch a live stream again. Glad you could be here. 340 Quail Farm says, morning, Terry, from Mount Dora, Florida. Glad you could join us. David Bullock says, thanks to all the sponsors that makes the giveaways happen. Absolutely. Oops. 340 Quail Farm says, do you paint your wood cages with any weather protective coating with regards to pressure washing and cleaning? I just use an exterior grade house paint was what I was using on them. You could probably use like, a weather sealer. I just make sure that it was really good and dried, before you put your birds in it. But I've never had a problem with exterior grade house paint. Bob Cole's in the house says, good morning. Cam says, oh yeah, they mow through corn on the cob. Yep. Bartek says, hello from Sweden. I have 4 birds that went broody. Unfortunately, some chicks got squashed and suffocated under mom. Does anyone know how to avoid this? I have never tried to let a hen, actually, I set up my aviary. I can't say that. I had my aviary set up and I thought I could get some birds to go broody, but I never did. I know some people that actually take the chicks away from it. It kind of defeats the whole broody thing, but they let the hens hatch them out, and then they take the chicks away, put them in a brooder till they can put a little bit of size on them. But if you want to do it all natural, you're just going to have to, find a hen that is a little more, considerate of her chicks. She's not going to try to, sit on them and squash them. I don't know if maybe it was a little bit chilly and she felt that she needed to keep them warm. Hard to say. David Bullock says, congrats again, Brittany. Andy Rabbit, okay, not talking to me. Andy Rabbit says, I haven't bought an Italian at all yet. Some reason I'm getting some pop up everywhere, kind of like weeds. And that's the whole point behind this cleaning up these lines, is trying to figure out where this stuff is coming from and, not giving you any surprises when you do manage to, hatch some out. Sundial Fragrance question. Terry, how are you handling the hive beetle situation? We lost 2 hives this year. Any suggestions? The only thing that I'm doing for hive beetles right now, I know a lot of people say if you got a good, strong, healthy hive, you don't have to worry about hive beetles. I started this year keeping my bees very naturally. I leave them to their own resources. But in regards to hive beetles, what I do is, and this is, I don't, it's kind of letting them be natural, but I'm giving them a hand. I put, every time I do an inspection, which isn't very often, maybe once a month, I'll put a half a dozen of the little peppermint candies in there, the little round red and white peppermint candies. That kind of masks the smell inside the hive. The hive beetles can't really smell the honey, so they kind of avoid it and they leave it. And I think the peppermint also deters them from staying in the hive. But the biggest thing that I do that helps out the most is I'll put strips of, what do they call those things? The little things that you put on a like a Swiffer mop, Swiffer sheets. Duh. I'll put strips of Swiffer sheets along the top of the frames on the very top box, because it seems like the bees run the hive beetles all the way up to the top. They corral them up there, and that's usually when you see them. You'll open them up and you'll see a ton of hive beetles running around. But by doing that, it seems to keep the hive beetles in check enough to where the bees can keep them from laying their eggs and whatnot in the cells, you know, and sliming out your frames. So that's always worked well for me. And it's funny because you're not the first person to ask me that. This year seems to be really bad for hive beetles. And I've had people tell me that, well, if you keep your bees in the same spot, the hive beetles just get worse and worse because they're always shedding, or they're always laying eggs, and then the larva climbs out of the hive and goes into the soil. But I don't know. Last year I had hardly any hive beetles. This year, yeah, there's considerable numbers, but it doesn't seem to really be affecting my bees that much. And I did notice one thing, but that by going all natural, letting the bees take care of themselves, I haven't had really any problems. Last year I had die-offs, I had issues with this and that. This year I caught a bunch of wild bees and I left them to their own resources, and they're doing fine. I mean, I'm not having problems with varroa. I'm not having problems with hive beetles per se. Yeah, they're doing great. So I hope that helps you out. Try it if you haven't already, and you know, I wish you good luck on that. Hannah says, "Good morning. Didn't see the notification." Austin says, "My birds just matured and I'm switching to layer feed for my hens. Is it okay for the roosters to eat the layer feed, or should I put them on something else?" Just let the roosters eat the layer feed. I know that it says on the bag, not made for roosters or whatever, but you know how hard it would be to segregate your roosters, unless you were to keep them in a separate pen and just introduce him to the hens every now and then to breed. I kept them mainly in breeding groups, and I always let the roosters eat what the hens were eating and never had an issue. Cam says, "I gave all the birds in my 2 coops a nice Epsom salt soak inspection, loving towel dry on Friday." Okay, there you go. Keep their feet nice and clean. Child of God, so that's how I'm doing it. Plan on using a heating pad to keep warm, just setting pin on it. Just somehow missed the bird. Do clean 10x6 aviary regular. Yeah, that's the best you can do. You know, and have like in your aviary, you know, if you've got mulch down or something, you know, keep it turned. That way the manure doesn't build up and whatnot. So. Cam says, "Beautiful Mount Dora. Need to make a trip up there." Hannah says, "Question, does the hatching time 2-level turner fit in the small Terry baiter?" You can make it fit. What you've got to do is, all right, we've got rails on the side of the turner. If you cut a couple boards about the thickness and a little bit wider than like a paint stir stick, you put that crossways between the boards, and then you can set the hatching time turners on top of that. I've actually done that before and it works really well. Just be careful when you pull it out, because you can't slide it out. You've got to pick it up and off those two boards and then get the egg turner out that way. But yeah, it does work. I've used the hatching time turners in my DIY boxes quite a few times. Andy Rabbit says, when I have some rabbits available. I would love to get back into rabbits. I wish I had more room than where I'm at. Brian says, good morning. Got some much needed rain in Elgin, South Carolina yesterday and overnight. Yeah, we get rain every day here. I mean, it's rainy season in Florida and it just doesn't stop. I think we're like 40 inches over what we're supposed to already have this year, or not this year, but this rainy season. David DeBar says, Swiffer sheets, say that 5 times fast. Exactly. I couldn't even say it once. Okay, Sundial Fragrance says, thank you very much. I will try the peppermint candy. Thank you. We tried scented oils and it didn't work. Yeah, the peppermint candy, the bees love it. They will actually eat on that candy. But if you go on YouTube and do a search, peppermint candies for hive beetles, there's a lot of videos out there. They actually have the peppermint candy challenge, where one guy, the guy that actually started the challenge, says he had to stop the challenge because the peppermint candies totally eliminated his hive beetle problem. So yeah, I mean, they work. I've got a big bag of them in my refrigerator right now that when I go out and do inspections, I got a box that I fill up with all my gear, and I always throw a handful of them in there. And the hives get them. They get the peppermint candy whether or not I see hive beetles. If there's hive beetles, they definitely get them. If there's not hive beetles, they get them. And same with the Swiffer sheets. And the way the Swiffer sheets work the best is cut them. Oh, my light just clicked off and back on. Cut the Swiffer sheets like in half, the long way. That way you can put one strip, like it's like 1 inch wide by, I don't know, 8 or 9 inches. You can put it across the frames, put one at the back of the box and one towards the front of the box. Oops. Mark says, thank you, Terry, for your input. Absolutely. That's what we are here for. All right, guys, we are down to the bottom of the list. I'm going to give away some prizes right now. These are coming from HP Murray over at Gopher Ridge Quail. We're going to give away a 30 count of mixed hatching eggs and a 50 count of jumbo cell egg cartons. I'll bring them up again real quick so you can see what they look like. There they are in the center with the tape measure, but this is actually what they look like with the eggs in it, and that's Maury's setup. So yeah, you're going to get a 50 count of them. Let's see, who needs a hatching time gift certificate? I don't like giving away the hatching time gift certificate to somebody that's not going to use it or be able to use it. So if you want a hatching time gift certificate, comment hatching time in the thing. Andy Rabbit, you're going to get the egg cartons because you were the first one to say egg cartons. And I know I didn't say that, but okay. So egg cartons are going to go to Andy Rabbit. I'm waiting for someone who wants the hatching time gift certificate, and I am going to give let's see, who hasn't got hatching eggs in a while? All right, we are going to go ahead and give the hatching eggs to Sundial Fragrance Review. All I'm waiting on is a $50 hatching time gift certificate, and let's see if anybody down there has them. Let's see. Quentin Schumacher. I hope I said that right. You're going to get the $50 gift certificate. For those of you who we called your name for prizes, I need you to send me your shipping information, and that includes obviously a good address, but I also need a good phone number and a good email address. And you're going to send that to Terry at Coturnix, if I can spell Coturnix, CoturnixCorner.com. So there is my address we just posted. And I think that's going to do it. I don't see any more travel guys that don't type fast enough. I hear you. I'm a hunt and peck person. Actually, I can type. It's just I make a lot of mistakes when I do. So I think that's about it, guys. We're going on 10 o'clock, which is usually when we pull the plug. So I want to thank everybody that joined us today. I am going to give serious thought to doing the live streams again on Tuesday. It's not going to happen this week, Tuesday, because I've got, I have to drop the transmission in my truck. I've got some issues with that, but I'm going to do that, finish all my chores around here. And then I believe, let me give you a date so I can actually put it on the calendar. This Tuesday is the 10th. So the 17th, it looks like we will go ahead and start doing the Tuesday live stream. That'll give me some time to find a guest to bring on the show with me. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the Tuesday live streams a guest live stream where we have a guest and a live stream topic. And then we'll just keep Sundays, the morning musings for just hanging out and, talking about whatever and, taking a few questions here and there and whatnot. So, all right, guys. Again, for the winners, don't forget to send me your shipping information, email address, and phone number, because I will not be trying to track you down if I don't get it. Andy Rabbit says, good luck on your transmission work. Yeah, that's fun. Thanks for another great show, Cherry. Look forward to next time. Absolutely. All right, guys. Have a great weekend, a great upcoming week, and we'll see you all next week, Sunday, and possibly the following Tuesday. Have a good day, everybody.